okay. They're just afraid to change. When you feel life ain't worth living, you got to stand up and take a look around. You look up way to the sky, yeah. And when your deepest thoughts are broken, keep on dreaming, boy, 'cause when you stop dreaming, it's time to die. And as we all play parts of tomorrow, some ways will walk and other ways will play, yeah. But I know we can't all stay here forever, so I wanna write my words on the face of today.
Get me out of here, man. I'm not really crazy, man. This is a big mistake that we're in here, man.
You want the key?
Hey, please, Doc, get me out of here. Let me be free. I just want the key, okay?
You're sure you want to be free?
Yeah, I want to be free. Just give me the key, okay, please?
Come here. Stick out your tongue.
What?
Stick out your tongue. There's the key.
Key? This is not the key. I want the key.
That's the key to the universe.
All right, what's up? My name is Jimmy. I'm gonna do one song before I get back into my box. Yeah. Purple haze all in my brain. What's this Negro doing on the stage? I'm acting funny, but I don't know why. Excuse me while I kiss this fly.
I'm back. Oh shit, I don't have a hat. Fuck.
Just as I thought it was going all right, I found out I'm wrong when I thought it was right. It's always the same.
It's just a shame, that's all.
I could say day,
You could say night
tell me it's black.
when I know that it's white.
Always the same, it's just
The shame, and that's all.
I could leave, but I won't
Go.
Though my heart might tell me so. I can't feel a thing from
This is
my
a good part coming
head
up.
down to my toes.
Why does it always seem to be me looking at you, you looking at me? It's always the same, it's just a shame, that's all.
Turning me on, turning me off, making me feel like I want too much. Living with you
You
is
is
the
putting me through it all of the time.
running around, staying out all night.
Well, I mean, it's about it's about a sexual relationship, but Okay, so we need to circle back around and address the Howard Center again. Now that it's been some time, so that I could somewhat calm down and and kind of think about things. I'm not saying I'm fucking sorry to Howard Center. Y'all can go fuck yourselves. You think I'm gonna say that? God almighty. My thing is that I feel that when I introed this video, I did it with change. They're just afraid of change, and it was about when you fail to change, especially when it's needed, means you basically quit living. And if you're going to quit living, then it's time to die. And that's kind of the thing. It's just like, this is like, in a way, I'm trying to, give y'all like an intervention. Because I just don't understand why it is the system has to say that, they can't switch the care because it would be too difficult, be too expensive, which I don't believe that. I believe it actually would be cheaper. Unless y'all want to fuck everything up on purpose so that you can bill it for as much as you possibly can, like you always do. I'm not fucking bitter about nothing, I promise you. But, that's kind of the thing is, this is about your own cognitive dissonance. That's what is really upsetting to me. Is y'all, well, what are we going to do? It's like, well, I don't know. If you're the fucking experts that are supposed to handle this, and y'all can't figure out a fucking way to do it the correct way, that really is upsetting for me. This is not something an autistic person likes to, kind of have to deal with. It's just like, why the fuck am I the adult in the room? This surly, foul-mouthed, curse like a fucking drunken sailor constantly. Why am I the adult in the fucking room here? You should be ashamed of yourselves. But that's just it. That cognitive dissonance you have won't let you. You see, this whole thing, we've figured things out to a lot greater degree lately. God damn it, fucking, what is it? Mass autoimmune syndrome. And, I lost my train of thought for a second there. Where was I at? The thing is y'all went to school and y'all were taught and trained a way to do this. And it was through making excuses for ABA. Adaptive behavioral, then cognitive behavioral therapies. And now it's turning out that actually causes autistic people, more likely to cause autistic people PTSD. You're getting paid to help, give PTSD because the care is not for us. The care is for, the teachers who just want the autistic person to sit still and shut up, or for the parent who just wants to have some time where they're not having to deal with it. Like, well, that's kind of the crapshoot you make when you have kids. People are like, well, it's not my fault. It's like, well, they got pills. It's like I say that all the time. I have this really dark joke that I was an abortion that got away. It's kind of like, because that's just it. It's like Doug Stanhope says, why is it that you think just because this person that you're responsible for bringing into this world now becomes a burden on all the rest of society for your fuck up? And you go, well, it's not the parents' fault. It's like, yeah, but it's not their fault, but they're still the person who's responsible for it. So, god damn it. I didn't mean to put some Ketafin in my eye. I just had something that was like kind of, I get this crunchy stuff like on my edge of my eyelid, and I go to remove it, and then all of a sudden all the fucking shit that's been backed up starts coming out. Hold on. But yeah, so hopefully it'll behave itself now. But the thing is I'm really more upset at the fact that that's kind of the problem with our bloated. I would say it slows molasses, but that wouldn't be fair to molasses. Molasses is much faster than bureaucrats. And much faster than, service provider organizations, that, are just basically government contractors. Y'all set this stuff up over, decades, and y'all will refuse to ever really change anything. I know that. Just because, in fact, it's just too much effort. It's like, we have so much to do. It's like, yeah, I guess you do. I mean, so does somebody who installs, roofing shingles. It's like, I have the toughest job in the world. I have to deal with violent retards, and it's like, well, what about like a really pale redheaded guy, like a little, short, scrawny kind of like Irish guy who's got to climb up, two-story ladders, to put shingles on a roof in the summertime. Now, that's a fucking hard job right there. God almighty, that's one thing I won't do. I won't do like roof work. Like it's like, look, I'll help you put the decking on that motherfucker, but I'm not putting down shingles. I don't even speak Spanish. Fuck that shit. I mean, you have to speak Spanish because if you don't hire some a Latin crew to come and do it, then you're fucked. They'll go to like Speedy Gonzalez. I never see people climb fucking ladders like, and they just walk on it like it doesn't bother them at all. Like they were born on a ladder. But I mean that's the thing is we have other. It's like I don't know. I don't work your job. And it's like I would like to try to have empathy for the situation you're in. I do have empathy for, even though I probably don't show enough of it, is the actual caseworkers, because I'm sure a lot of them kind of figure out over time. Yeah, this whole thing is we're kind of going in the wrong direction, and then they just become completely disillusioned, with their life experience because, they paid, an ungodly amount of money, especially when that fucking shitty school up the street. They paid an ungodly amount of money to get, college educated, because I'm sure you have to have a college degree to work there. And probably at least in certain fields too. You can't just like go to school and like get a degree, in like, fucking birdhouses or some shit, or Sanskrit, you know what I mean? And get a job. I was like, this is not like anybody with a degree is like, no, you have to have something that's related to it. And they went about it, I mean, kind of like, well, like, it kind of reminds me of this.
My real passion is my hobby.
Really? What's that?
I work with retards. We got this one kid, Mongo. He's got a forehead like a drive-in movie theater, but he's a good shit. So I went out and I got him a leash.
A leash?
Yeah, one of those ones you can hook onto the clothesline, and he can run back and forth, and there's plenty of room for him to dig and play. For me, it's heaven, Those goofy bastards are just about the best thing I've got going in this crazy world.
Yeah, it's like, I mean, he had good intentions, he went and got him, the runner so that, he wouldn't be in the cage anymore. He was just trying to, he was just trying to hook up with Mary back when she was still, hot. There's something about Mary, it's like, yeah, she's got a lot of face. I don't know what it is. She's one of those people like she could either be quite attractive or like, why does she look so weird? See, I'm a dick. I can't help it. He was a private investigator, so he's essentially, a notch or two down from being a for-hire fixer hitman. So, yeah, he's a little morally compromised. But he's lying, and he has no clue how to actually say what he's doing because he has no background. He's just a fucking dumbass. I mean, he's slick, but yeah, he's not properly educated in these things. And that's the thing that kind of gets me is, I feel sorry for Christopher Markham, because I have a feeling he really does wish that he could, make positive change for people, but he whether he already knows it or he just has slowly got to let that cognitive dissonance just kind of like ease itself out, so it's not super high pressure. I don't know. But I this the thing is I have this this thing where we go through it. We ask Google Gemini why ABA is bad, why CBT is bad, why they should switch to what is now considered scientifically the much more proven. And it really has to do with more of them not wanting to accept reality. That's why I say it's like, is it just me, or the people who set these policies, are they like fucking delusional or something? Or is it just that they have a certain base level of narcissism that keeps them from getting around their cognitive dissonance so that they can deal with this issue? So I say, so they make excuses like, well, if we don't do, CBT, we have to provide some care. It's kind of like if it's actually something that causes people psychological damage in the long run, that's not what you call care, sweetheart. That's what you call you're actually creating an injury, a serious defect injury on this person. And y'all worry about your liabilities. That's what gets me. Is that, the only reason why this is not becoming a liability issue is simply because of the fact that y'all can say, well, we're following the federal requirements or whatever. I mean, to some extent, I guess. But you also that's the thing is, if you were to provide meaningful, interaction or meaningful engagement, with the autistic community in a neuroaffirming way, then you would be nervous that somebody might make a mistake and it create a lawsuit. And the thing is I think that our people are kind of we love to fuck with people and threaten a lawsuit, but if there's no if they it's kind of like they did not intend on there being a situation where something go the way they wanted, that'd be hard for me, and I'm betting most autistic people have a hard time wanting to go, file a lawsuit against y'all if y'all in good faith were trying to, do something good for us. If something happened to happen, I mean, that's kind of the thing. You can't spend your whole life, or you can't run your agency indefinitely on this, theory of, as long as we don't incur any kind of liability, we can provide the best care. It's like, no, that's not providing care. That's kind of like skating around it with semantics. You're playing a semantics game. That's why I say, like, people who are like, you shouldn't use the R word. It's like, what do you mean, fucking retard? It's amazing because I'll sit there and I'll say the F word like 5 or 6 times, and they won't say, yeah, you really shouldn't say that. It's like, that's inappropriate. Retard is a mechanical engineering term. That's something that was used as a means to be, empathetic and kind, because they used to call them morons, imbeciles, idiots. Those were actual, clinical, terms, and that's the thing. It's me, is all these people are like, you should say the R word. It's like, go fuck yourself. Legally, I am partly retarded, so guess what? Tell black people they can't say, their word. It's like, I just get so sick of that shit. And that's the thing is this is one of the worst places for that. That's the thing is, I love to use the opportunity to say it, just to see some purple hair fucking, some lady who has given up all hopes of ever looking attractive again and has purple hair is going to just be like one of them fucking mean ass chihuahuas, full blown fucking purple hair Karen. It's like, actually, sweetheart, hold on, let me pull something out here. Let me show you that I actually am developmentally disabled. And I am also someone who is recognized by the Social Security Administration with being permanently, disabled with, autism spectrum disorder. Oh, and I also I have extremely high mechanical reasoning, spatial reasoning, and really high vocabulary. I also have below average verbal reasoning, which is usually where the issue is. It's just like, I think what it is I can't, it's not so much that I don't understand how to reason verbally, it's so much that I don't understand how y'all cheat the basic laws and rules of language and use things in an improper way. Just like these people who are supposed to provide us care will say that, they have to provide, if they, some kind of care. It's like, sweetheart, that's not care. You're saying it's care because you call it care, but that's really just kind of like a gross manipulation of the definition of care. I mean, if this was 10 years ago, 15 years ago, there wouldn't have been much of an argument because there wasn't really enough information yet. This is something that has been coming out more in recent years. You're going to have to switch to it eventually, because eventually when someone is, in control of our, federal government, that does care about these things, You know, like especially if AOC, which I don't know, I've heard it. She announced she was running, and it's weird because I actually do like AOC, but I really don't like a lot of people who like her. That's what's strange. She would care. She would push for that. That's what's weird is it's like, it's not so much that I don't like progressive politicians. I don't like progressive supporters. Because they're all just a bunch of fake smug douchebags. Just like here. This is supposed to be the most progressive state in the country. And yet they have this extremely archaic, way of going about this. And it's like, well, what does it come down to? They cannot acknowledge that maybe they've been wrong. And that they went to school and paid an ungodly amount of money, probably 6 figures or more, to get a college education, just to find out that everything they learned was actually not only not correct, it was actually probably causing people. They don't want to admit that. I guess it's like if it was causing people harm, it's kind of like, well, you were trained by people who claimed that they knew what they were doing and were certified by a university, certified by a state to teach you this shit, and you've just followed what you've been trained to do. That's not your fault. But when you do know now that it is, and you can't accept it, and you come up with other excuses, that's where the problem is. Because like I said, it's like my issue with Howard Center is not with Christopher Markham. My issue is with the way their organization is structured, and the fact that they are so contrary of what this state politically. Y'all are supposed to be such a unbelievably pro healthcare state and such a pro progressive ideology state. Y'all have gender affirming care, and y'all make that a serious thing, but to have developmentally disabled affirming care. And here's the thing, we've seen there seems like there's actually, and I'm not saying that you shouldn't for trans community, but I just don't understand how it is with all the scientific data we have now saying, yeah, that's what needs to happen. Y'all don't do it. That's fucked up. But y'all do it for them. Oh, why? Because it's politically popular right now. Which goes to show exactly what I say. Y'all are a bunch of posers. You are. Because the Howard Center is going to be one of the places you probably go to for that gender affirming care, or at least part of the process. I don't know whether it's the psychological end of it, like, they're saying, no, if you feel like you're this, then you're this. There's nothing wrong with that. Don't give a shit. Fuck care less. Do that all fucking day long. Build a government. Fuck them. Or if it's, the actual, like, yeah, you know what? You're so pretty. You should have some titties. And I would fucking giggle like a schoolgirl. Somebody got some Uncle Sam flipping a bill for a boob job for this really pretty transgender lady. And it's like, that's just the finishing touches, sweetheart. That's all you need was some titties. Some of them I get confused because some of them kind of, I don't know, if she kind of gives me a chubby, so maybe I'm okay with her having a penis. If she's going to be that damn pretty. I've fucked a lot of damn cisgender women that aren't attractive as them. Oh, and if the state auditor's office happens to, review this, I'm sorry for my language, and I ain't right in the head. That's why I have to get services. If I can't communicate the way I need to communicate, and I can't really, it's like, yeah, it's offensive. Well, everybody's a fucking adult, right? Get the fuck over it. My channel is set to where it's like, no, this channel is not for children. And if they say, and I have no problem with it. Like, there was one where I did one on LA riots, and saying that if we'd had there was a curfew all over America. If we'd had riots in Atlanta, in support of it, said me and my buddy Jake, y'all stay at his house is down in Buckhead at Picture Battle, which is real close to downtown. Like we're 10 minutes away. I said we would have gone down there just to watch it. It's like Gen X is off the chain, man. Especially the 90s was wild. And it's like, all these people these days have these safe spaces, and it's like, how am I supposed to fucking mentally and emotionally abuse your ass if you keep crawling in your fucking safe space where I can't get to you? That shit ain't fair. It's like, We would probably call that, like, some people would call that a timeout. And in some families, they would call that, you're going to get knocked the fuck out if you don't shut the fuck up. It was a different time. It was a lot more fun, that was for sure. So let's go through that. It's rather long. But, I mean, you know, it's don't worry, it's got some music to it. And then we'll come back. And then I'll chastise you motherfuckers some more. But like I was saying, you know, I don't really blame Christopher Markham because, you know, his hands are tied. You know, I'm sure that, you know, he probably is more aware. Now, as far as the lady over there at Benchmark, what's her name? Megan? The fuck is her name? I don't know, something like that. I'm not so sure about her because everything I've asked her to do, the one thing she've asked her to do, she only partly did, and everything else is kind of like, huh? Or then like the time where I kind of like, you know, corner her in a scenario where she has to say something other than, you know, I don't get it. You know, it's like, I don't think it's a good idea. It's like, you said that, you know, you were my employee and I was like your boss. And, you know, so if I need something, it's like, well, I asked you to do something. And it's kind of like, well, I don't give a fuck if they want, if they like it or not. I kind of have my own, you know, unique way of reverse engineering a scenario and, you know, pulling a metaphorical Russian bow on somebody and just kicking you right in the nuts and go, you win. But yeah, so I'm not sure about her. Now, I based on the evidence I have, statistics tell me that she is never going to be someone who can help me, not effectively. I could be wrong. You know, that's the thing. Now, I am a arrogant dick. Well, actually, I'm an asshole. That's the thing I have to warn people. It's like, look, I'm sorry, but I'm a clinically diagnosed asshole. That's been proven many times. Okay, so it could be that just because I'm such an asshole, that's my opinion. But I'm at the point now where it's kind of like I will always question, and I will never feel like that's someone who I could trust. Because I just feel like they're just constantly like finding. They think I don't need assistance. They think I'm just, you know, using them, and it's kind of like, you know, it's like, you know, I basically told her point blank, it's like, I didn't ask for your fucking opinion. I gave you a task. I'm the boss. Yeah, bullshit. It's just like Christopher asked me about places, you know, to go where he could go and stand next to me and act like, you know, that's meaningful engagement. And I said, hey, let's go to a titty bar. And here's like, I don't even like titty bars. I mean, unless it's a Claremont Lounge or I love that place, but it's not really. It's kind of like that bar. It's like Jabba the Hutt's, you know, bar in, you know, Return of the Jedi. They look like, the women there look like aliens because they're anywhere from 20s to 60s. They got fucking C-section scars, shit, bullet scars, bullet scars. You know, I mean, it's a crazy place, but it's really fun. I happen, you know, being real good with the owner. They love me for some reason. I don't know. They don't like nobody else, but they like me. But, you know, I just said that just as well. You said anywhere. Well, I said a teddy bar. It's kind of like my way of, you know, dropping a hint that, you know, y'all should not put everything onto me. If I could say what to do that might be a helpful assistance, where it's like, I don't want to go somewhere and just be like, what am I going to do? Am I going to like cold calling people in person, like to make friends? You want to be my friend? It's like, that would creep me the fuck out if somebody came up to me and did that shit. We're not fucking 6 years old anymore. I mean, I act like I am in a lot of ways, but you know, when you're, you know, a 6-year-old in the body of a 50-year-old, that's fuck creepy as shit. So yeah, I mean, it's the fact that they don't, and then, you know, I can't even go to groups because I have PTSD. They didn't offer me any kind of alternative way to go to group without having to sit through a meeting at their office with my case manager and the person who runs the group. That's what you call vetting. No, what is it? See, it's why would both of you motherfuckers need to be there? Could y'all give me a questionnaire? So you would either it's a vetting thing to make sure I don't cause problems that, you know, might interrupt billing cycle, because I'm gonna steal their group. I'm gonna steal it big time. And the thing, if I were to go, but it's the whole vetting thing. Either it's vetting or they're trying to figure out ways to gaslight me, as I mean to help me, And it's like, oh my God, you gonna piss me off? You don't want to find out how smart I really am, bitch. I swear to God, you don't. There's a reason why a lot of people in this town are kind of terrified of me. It's not because I'm dangerous. I mean, like physically dangerous. I mean, I might be, dangerous to your liability. Or I fuck with your head in ways that you'll never get over it. Welcome to my world. So we'll watch that. But like, I just want to stress that, is that, I don't blame the case management as much as I just blame the way the organization is managed. It's kind of like, they're going to be like, well, what do we need to do to get you back, get service at Howard Center? It's kind of like, oh, the Howard Center? Yeah, well, you let me know when they have new leadership. Well, I mean, it's like, no, I want to know when they have leadership. And I want people who come in there who admit, yes, the neuroaffirming thing is what really should be happening, and we're trying to figure out a way to transition to that as quickly as possible. That's what I want to hear. And if it's for the people who've been working there for years or decades, fuck them. I don't want to hear it from them. Shame on you. Because that's the thing. It's either about their own cognitive dissonance they can't accept, or it's about money. Period.
I'm sorry I took the money.
That's it.
I'm sorry I took the money. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
That's it.
Well, we have to get. I don't give a shit. Go work at Lowe's or Walmart. Go work at Target. Something. I don't know. Why do I have to? Not only not receive the care that I should get, but I'm. They're trying to give me care that is completely against my, best interest, because what's in my best interest is not in y'all's best interest. So y'all's best interest had to be protected first, which seems like that would be a liability issue. So I don't get that either. Enjoy.
Something in me, dark and sticky. All the time it's getting strong. The way of dealing with this feeling can't go on like this too long. This time you've gone too far. This time you've gone too far. This time you've gone too far. I told you, I told you, I told you, I told you. As I close on in, I get so blind. I feel it in my head, I feel it in my toes. I feel it in my sex, that's the place it goes. This time you've gone too far. This time you've gone too far. This time you've gone too far. I told you, I told you, I told you, I told you. This time you've gone too far. This time you've gone too far. This time you've gone too far. I told you, I told you, I told you, I told you. Don't talk back. Just drive the car. Shut your mouth. I know what you are. Don't say nothing. Keep your hands on the wheel. Don't turn around. This is for real. Digging in the dirt. Stay with me, I need support. I'm digging in the dirt to find the places I got hurt. Open up the places I got hurt. I'm digging in the dirt. Stay with me, I need support. I'm digging in the dirt. Find the places I got hurt. To open up the places I got hurt. Digging in the dirt. Find the places. Something in me, dark and sticky. All the time it's getting strong. The way you're dealing with this feeling can't go on like this too long. This time you've gone too far. This time you've gone too far. This time you've gone too far. I told you, I told you, I told you, I told you. This time you've gone too far. This time you've gone too far. This time you've gone too far. I told you, I told you, I told you, I told you. Don't talk back. Just drive the car. Shut your mouth. I know what you are. Don't say nothing. Keep your hands on the wheel. Don't turn around. This is for real. Digging in the dirt. Stay with me, I need support. I'm digging in the dirt. Find the places I got hurt. Open up the places I got hurt. The more I look, the more I find. As I close on in, I get so blind. I feel it in my head, I feel it in my toes. I feel it in my sex, that's the place it goes. This time you've gone too far. This time you've gone too far. This time you've gone too far. I told you, I told you, I told you, I told you. This time you've gone too far. This time you've gone too far. This time you've gone too far. I told you, I told you, I told you, I told you. Don't talk back. Just drive the car. Shut your mouth. are. Don't say nothing. Keep your hands on the wheel. Don't turn around. This is for real. Digging in the dirt. Stay with me, I need support. I'm digging in the dirt to find the places I got hurt. Open up the places I got hurt. I'm digging in the dirt. Stay with me, I need support. I'm digging in the dirt. Find the places I got hurt. To open up places I got hurt. Digging in the dirt. Find the places we got hurt. Digging in the dirt. Find the place. Something in me, dark and sticky. All the time it's getting strong. The way you're dealing with this feeling can't go on like this too long. This time you've gone too far. This time you've gone too far. This time you've gone too far. I told you, I told you, I told you, I told you. This time you've gone too far. This time you've gone too far. This time you've gone too far. I told you, I told you, I told you, I told you. Don't talk back. Just drive the car. Shut your mouth. I know what you are. Don't say nothing. Keep your hands on the wheel. Don't turn around. This is for real. Digging in the dirt. Stay with me, I need support. I'm digging in the dirt. Find the places I got hurt. Open up the places I got hurt. Something in me, dark and sticky.
It's dark and sticky. Yeah, definitely. If it's me, it's sticky. So did y'all have fun digging in the dirt? Huh? So, you get the drift. I mean, if it moves too fast for you because you're fucking like, partly illiterate, just hit pause. Read it and, let it go. I try a little big to be playing in the fucking dirt, That's like that. That's a line from used cars. Aren't you a little big to be playing in the fucking mud? You know what? I'm just gonna stick at it right here.
Now, aren't you a little big to be playing in the fucking mud?
Yeah, I think that, I think the system is just completely screwed. And I feel like I'm just kind of aiding and abetting, a billing cycle that just perpetuates payroll. I mean, if you look at the data, it looks to me like, everything that's going on is not actually helping the clients. And in some cases, it may be making them worse. It really does bother me that these little kids are going to grow up to have horrible fears that, because that's the thing, they're not going to be, they're not aware enough to know that it's like they're going to be so stressed out and upset. And for why? That's not for the benefit of the client. That's for the benefit of everyone else who, if they don't have a problem, they can get the fuck over it. I've just never seen a concept that was so unbelievably fucking self-absorbed and narcissistic as to trying to teach young kids that they can train them how to learn how to mask, how to learn how to not be autistic. That's just fucked up. It really is. It really is. Some years back, The Simpsons, they had kind of like they've made predictions. I think it's just because of the fact that they got like fucking 8,000 episodes. They're going to cover every single premise at some point, and they usually get to it before it actually happens because they think of something, what strange or unlikely thing will happen, and they'll make an episode about it, and then it fucking happens because we live in in a skewed timeline apparently, and they had this like joke commercial thing about a product that kind of did foreshadow way things were going to go, because this was long before the peak of it. And one of our greatest at one time our largest corporation in America, one of the largest, if not in the world. Check this out. This is a classic clip from The Simpsons.
Wow, this is roomy.
12-yard long, 2 lanes wide, 65 tons of American pride. Canyonero, Canyonero. Top of the line in utility sports. Unexplained fires are a matter for the courts. Canyonero, Canyonero. She blinds everybody with a super high beam. She's a squirrel, squasher, deer, smack, and driving machine. Canyonero. Canyonero.
Canyonero. Canyonero. Yeah, that was like somewhere around the earlier to maybe the mid 90s. I know it was in the 90s, but this was when SUVs were starting to really take off. I'd say that's probably like around 95 or 96, something like that. And it wasn't just that, it was like Jeeps, or like 4Runners. It started to get to where everywhere you look, you start seeing Suburbans, which are basically the same as like having an extended cab, small bed or short bed, 6-foot bed, but with an extended cab, or a long bed, regular cab. So it was, a considerably large truck, just happened to be completely enclosed. And then they just kind of, this was like in an era where they started to put leather, in like large SUVs, and they just, over time, they just kept putting more and more luxury into it. It got to where it was like a fucking Cadillac from the 70s, It's like, it just was ridiculously how unbelievably, luxurious they were for a fucking truck. And they just got heavier and they got heavier, and then to make up the difference for that heavy ass truck, they just kept putting more and more powerful engines in them. And over time, it was kind of like they would go from having like a 250 horsepower Chevy small block LT1 iron block in the head, aluminum intake, 5.7 liter. Which is essentially the motor out of a Corvette. It's a motor out of a Caprice, like a cop spec, Caprice, or basically an Impala was like a cop spec Caprice, like mechanically, but then had enlarging, low profile performance tires, and it had a performance, I mean the comp was performance all too, but it had like a Flowmaster style, so it was like a really nice sharp, specialty, Caprice body on top of, the underpinnings that would be the comp, Caprice. And over time they just kept, even though they would get higher and higher horsepower, I mean the gas would still remain similar, if not even maybe get a little better. I mean, like they go from a 250 horsepower small block to say, an almost, like a 375 horsepower small block, that they put in one of those big ass Suburbans or Canyonero or whatever. And the thing is they've just doubled down and doubled down and doubled down and doubled down. They simultaneously helped to create, the enormous increase in the cost of fuel, the enormous increase, of the damage to the environment from the emissions from it. I mean, those trucks, even some of those, none of them get over 20 miles a gallon, even on the highway. At best. Like I had a Mercury Mountaineer, which is basically like a really decked out. It's like a Mercury version of the Ford Explorer, but like the Ford Explorer Limited. It was like it is leather, giant fucking power sunroof. It was a full-time all-wheel drive. It was the 5-liter Windsor, small block V8 302. It had GT40 heads on it. I mean, the thing is it got like 11 or 12 miles to the gallon in the city, and it got like 16 or 17 on the highway. And that was when gas was kind of pricey. I mean, that was in the late 2000s, but gas prices actually went down for a while. They used to be consistently like, over like $2.50, $3 a gallon, and then they kind of got down to where they were closer to like $2. Like when I lived out in New Mexico, I was kind of surprised to see you get gas for like $2.20 or something, or $2.15. And I want to say that gas here is always going to be more expensive because fucking Vermont, they're going to tax the fuck out of anything that you actually need. Just like, California will do that too. I'm sure Massachusetts is pretty bad as well. But in the South, gas is usually pretty cheap, comparatively speaking, at least. But the thing is now people actually want affordable, reliable, much smaller like cars, or say smaller SUVs or the thing is they kept doubling down and doubling down, and now they have these giant full-size super luxury, super duty, $100,000 or more super luxury, super full-size, super duty trucks that they can't sell. And here's another thing, they have their V8 engines that, they ever so often they kind of like, revamp the engines. And the thing is since the LT1 series, the iron block it had, because they switched up to like an aluminum block to basically make it where the ones they put in the vets are the same basic block, just, maybe it's got a thicker, iron sleeve in it or something. And I remember when those first came out, it's like a 5.4 liter or something, replaced a 5.7, and it was aluminum block and heads would, iron sleeves, but it leaked. Oil just soaks through the aluminum block. And we had this rich kid that used to come in his performance shop / off-road shop / car stereo shop I ran for a while in Athens. He was just wealthy. His like parents own like, I think his family owned Charlotte Pipe or something, which is actually a huge is in Charlotte, North Carolina. Even though he's from Florida. But yeah, he showed up one day. He was like, "Man, my truck ain't running right." He just bought a brand new, like in the last month or two, Z71, extended cab Silverado. This is like 1999, and he also had a Porsche. He had a Porsche when like 2 years old. We put a wall like a fucking like 8 or 12, so I can't remember. I think it was a Kicker Solar Barrack or something, and. we pull in, the bay, and we pull out dipstick. That motherfucker was dry. Really dry. It's like, hey, you ain't got no hole, man. It's like, what do you mean you ain't got no hole? It's like, there ain't no hole in this motherfucker. It's like, did you go get an oil change? It's like, no, I ain't even got, fucking 5,000 miles on it yet. It's like, and we look at it, I'm like, yeah. He took it back. So they've just kind of slowly but surely gone downhill. And the thing is, they had a really good idea to make these really high, horsepower, really high torque turbo. It's like a 3 liter. I think it's like a 3 liter 4-cylinder turbo. I thought it'd be a great idea. That probably would, over time, they would perfect. Turns out they have a lot of reliability issues. Oh, and now also their V8 engines just keep repeatedly just fucking shitting themselves. Like they have just doubled and tripled and quadrupled and pentupled down on the same kind of losing formula. And right here's the thing, even like Ford, I thought, had made a poor decision in saying they were no longer going to manufacture cars anymore. They're only going to make trucks, SUVs. I mean, you need commercial duty trucks for commercial duty work. But someone who's just driving to work and back, who just happens to feel like his cock is too small, will buy like a giant fucking F-250 dually long bed crew cab, decked out with a leather, with a fucking turbo 7.3 liter, turbo diesel, in it, power stroke, and it's like this. It's just the fucking chrome rims and everything. All the fucking lights, bells and whistles. It's like a fucking maxed out Cadillac, but a giant heavy duty truck. It's like reasonable. If you don't need chrome rims, to haul around, a Bobcat trailer, or to haul around an equipment trailer or something, like a dovetail, like for like a front end loader, or a Bobcat or a Bullet or something. No, you need like a true work duty, like F-350, dually, or Chevy or Dodge equivalent. But now it's like you can't find those unless you want to order them directly from the manufacturer. Only like large companies, I guess, can get those anymore, or at least readily get them. And even those are fucking ridiculously expensive. And since COVID, so now gas is ridiculous. And because even people who 20 years ago are like, oh man, global warming is bullshit. You see how much snow we got last year? Now even they're like, yeah, this is getting to be bad, And they're like, yeah, I could tell that the ocean's higher than it was, when I was in college, It's like, the beaches are getting shorter, and it's it just feels hotter and hotter every year. And plus a $5 gas, especially since like COVID. They should have, instead of repeatedly doubling down on just pushing these $100,000 super luxury, but yet super heavy duty commercials. Like it's super heavy duty commercial underneath the skin. But then, it's got every fucking Cadillac style, creature comfort you could imagine. I mean, seriously, they're so low. I used to repo vehicles for a while, and that was one of the common things I'd run into was how many, especially the Fords. Almost every Ford F-250 or F-350 that we like, one out of like four would be like, it had the gray painted, the gray, kind of flat satin kind of painted rims. It'd be like all white body. It'd be like, the black or dark gray bumper, the grill wouldn't be chrome. It'd just be like, black. It's like every once in a while we get one like that, and it's like usually it'll have at least a cloth seat, but they don't have the vinyl. That's a commercial truck. That's what you want, really. That's really what you because like when you could just take a hose and hose out your floorboard, that's convenient. But if you got that super luxury cut pile carpet, that's a bitch. Clean that shit out. Especially if you have it at a job site. But we would get a lot of them that we repo because for some reason it was like had something to do with, because I think it was like 2006, and I think it had something to do with like all these contractors that had like got short-term contracts, doing stuff, like around New Orleans involving Katrina, and it would be like we'd pick up these really super fucking luxurious, F-350s, F-250, usually they were dualies. They were usually like crew cab dualies, and and the thing was, and those things were expensive back then. Now those are at minimum 100 grand for one like that, and it would be like it'd have in the bed, like up against the back wall of the bed, kind of, and it'd be actually impeding the view of some of the back window, and it would have like you'd see like a gas pump nozzle, and these were like these were like like trucks that are on the site, and it probably has like off-road diesel. I think I almost said one time, like we took the cap off of one, like, oh yeah, that's fuck, and you could tell it's got sulfur in it. It smells like goddamn shit. It smells like fucking like hammered assholes. And they put that in there because it's cheaper. It's like the tax on it's much lower, and it's supposed to be only for like like Bobcats, bulldozers, stuff like that. Diesel air compressors, for like road work. So they would get them, but then they'd either lose a contract, or the guy who this person was a subcontractor of a subcontractor who got a contract and then bought this expensive truck, and then 6 months down the road they wound up just like they didn't re-up his contract, or they didn't need him anymore, and he can't fucking pay for it. And it's like, and I'd be out in East Georgia, like all the way between Atlanta and Augusta, picking these things up out in the middle of fucking nowhere. It was easy to get them too, because they're just sitting there. And the thing is we usually I think with those we usually also get the keys, because Ford would just cut keys and send them to us. So that way we could get it, crank it up, drive it out, park it on the street, and go knock on the door and go, hey man, if you've got the keys to the truck, I'll let you get your shit out, And I just thought that, if it's something you use for work, okay. But I was kind of shocked to see somebody who has one of those, like, and it's like bolted or welded in. It's like a really heavy duty commercial thing. So this person was evidently hauling, heavy equipment with it. And then he kept, for industrial use, off-road diesel tank with what it has, not like it has, at the gas station, just kind of like, on the side of it. But yeah, it would have, like I said, chrome rims. It would have the nice cut pile carpet. It would have, the decked out leather, maybe even have a sunroof, and it was fucking absurd how expensive and how nice these things were, and they were usually no more than like a year or two old, and now they just kept pushing. How many times I see these videos, people are like, have you seen how many fucking backed up vehicles there are, at dealerships, or it's at especially General Motors has basically really, and I know Dodge just kind of got an issue too, because the thing is, nobody wants to buy American small cars. They will actually spend money and spend a lot more for a Toyota or a Honda or a Subaru. Why? Because they're actually good cars. Even though cars aren't really in right now, it's like they've kind of switched over to these like either low to the ground hybrids, or maybe they look more like a little bit more like a traditional SUV, but it's technically a crossover because it's a unibody, and it's probably like based on a transverse mounted engine where it's sideways, an engine bay, and it's kind of based on a front wheel drive platform, but then it's got like a transfer case coming off the side, and then a drive shaft down the back of it, But when it's in two-wheel drive, those things usually are the front wheel drive, or it's like all-wheel drive, and if they would have, say, like when 9/11 happened and gas like tripled overnight, they should have started putting a lot of money in R&D for small, efficient, cheap, because that's what everyone is. It's just basically they will not shut the fuck up saying they want small little pickup trucks. They want, it's like, what happened to like your cheap little fucking pickup truck, like your little Toyota and your little Honda, your little hard-body Nissan, and what happened to the little Ford? Remember, you could buy one of these brand new for $9,000, it's like it even had air conditioning in it, it's like, yeah, there was a time when you could buy like a hard body. It would be like a regular cab, 5-speed, 4-cylinder. Usually the Nissans for the really, really cheap ones that were like $8,500, $9,000 would usually not have would not have a power steering, usually power. They'll have air conditioning. That air conditioner will freeze you the fuck out. But I think like the work truck when I worked at the office center in Dunwoody, we had this little white, black bumpers, black grill, little Nissan pickup truck that was vinyl seat, vinyl floor mat, vinyl speed, no power steering, no power brakes, no power windows. It just came, and that thing is I think the only two things we got was it had a radio and it had AC. But it was a great truck. And all you got to do is either keep, the small narrow tires on it, or get one of those knob things that you can, instead of having to do it you can have like a thing where you just grab hold like a bus uses, or like a fucking 18-wheeler uses. You get better leverage. Usually the Fords in a Chevy version is it'll be for the same price, be a little nicer. Like the Ford Ranger, you could afford a Ranger, with cloth seat, cloth floorboard. It'd be like a 4-cylinder 5-speed, but that's plenty enough. Regular cab, 2-wheel drive, AC, at least AM, FM, and it'd have the manual windows, man. But they have power steering, power brakes, AC, carpet, cloth. Nothing fancy, but not like, completely Spartan. And you could pick one up for like $10,000 or less, like in the 90s. And it's like, we understand that, inflation. But when you can't buy even a small truck for less than like $35,000, it's like, if you kind of adjust, because even into the early 2000s, you could still get a brand new, like relatively base, truck for, between 10 and maybe 12 grand or something, and those things will run forever. They get great gas mileage, they're extremely reliable, they're great, especially the little Nissans, the little Toyotas, and little Ford Rangers. I don't know why, but Chevy S10s are kind of hit and miss. I like the Blazers. I had an 88 Blazer, a really nice one, like decked out top of the line. It was like black with the gray stripe on the bottom. It had the Chevy rally wheels on it. It had the upgraded seats. They didn't have leather back then, but they was like really high grade, velour seats, black interior, really sharp. And then I wound up getting a 4-door version of that, but it was a GMC Jimmy. They look identical. Only thing's different is the grill and the emblem. But that was a bigger V6. It was a 4.3. It's like, so I went from 150 horsepower, 2.8 liter to 190 horsepower. And that thing it would move good. I mean, it didn't handle that great, and it's kind of one of those things where, it got like 20 miles to the gallon on the highway, though, about 2021. But back then, gas was like fucking 90 cents a gallon. Who gives a shit? I mean, I drive from Conyers, Georgia, all the way to Dunwoody, Georgia, which is like is way out east end of the Atlanta, outskirts, and then drive all the way to north end perimeter, to Dunwoody. I mean, this is like, if there's no traffic, it's going to take me about 50 minutes to an hour. With traffic, probably about hour and 15, hour and 15, hour and 20, every day. And I would fill it up with mid-grade for it was a 20-gallon tank. You get mid-grade for right around $1, so it was like right around $20. And I would fill it up on Sunday night, and if I usually could drive it all week back and forth, and then even on the weekend, unless we make an excursion to Athens or something, I usually wouldn't even put gas in it over the weekend. I just fill it up every Sunday night, So $20 a week but can you imagine that? You could drive a fucking nice SUV and be sitting up high, I mean, it was like a smaller midsize, but they did not think to do that. And that's why I'm kind of using this as a really drawn out analogy for what is happening with service providers, especially for development disabled. They just keep doubling down on it because they've kind of built this, this Leviathan of a system that, and plus it's not just that it would be so difficult, it would, it would just cause chaos for them. you know, especially from an administrative angle, you know, and from a billing angle and this and that, they would have to find a way to guarantee that they would have funding in some other way that's not like everything is paid based on this specific, you know, task. This, like, they just need a blanket, income instead of, you know, this like every little thing, well, we have to submit paperwork for. So yeah, and that's the reason why nothing ever fucking gets done. They spend more and more time just making sure they fill out their billing, you know, shit to make sure they get paid, that they never even have any time to innovate anything or, you know, or kind of come up with a way that they could fix this shit. They're like, you know, people were like, what about CBD? Well, you know, if we get to them young enough, it's kind of like, oh, so you want to just, you know, create, you know, a never-ending, you know, horrible anxiety in this person, and where they grow up basically to have some type of, you know, complex post-traumatic stress disorder because they don't act right enough for you, for, you know, the school system or for their parents, whatever. When you should be told, y'all just need to get the fuck over it. Or we need to come up with better ways to, you know, have services for them that, you know, doesn't expect them to suffer because other people are inconvenienced or annoyed. It's like they're inconvenienced or annoyed. Yeah, but the autistic kid's suffering so that the others don't have to be inconvenienced or annoyed. That's kind of messed up. And that's the thing is GM was the biggest company in like on earth. I think the only you know organization that, you know, you could say was larger than them would be, you know, the U.S. Defense Department. But yeah, and the thing is, you know, so yeah, they're way down that list now. But yeah, they had like fucking 5 or 6 brands at one time, all under the GM umbrella, and they've reduced it to like Chevrolet, Buick, Cadillac, and Buick's very little. Most of it's for China. Chinese people love Buicks for some reason. I had my last car was a Buick Century. I love that car. So 2000. It was basically the same thing. It's kind of like a base version of a Regal. It was a nice car. Got for $150. Ran great. And the thing is, you know, because they didn't bother trying, because they were like, it's too hard to compete with Toyota, compete with Corollas and compete with Camrys and compete with Honda Accords and Honda Civics, you know, or Subaru, you know, Imprezas and shit. It's just I mean, even though they're usually considerably more for the same, you know, options list of a car that would be considered like, well, this is roughly the same size. Roughly, it's kind of like a similar engine layout or similar size. It's like, you know, this is like a Cobalt. Like a really nice Cobalt would be like, you know, the American GM equivalent of like a nice Corolla, you know. But the Cobalt was just kind of a piece of shit. They're actually, they drive nice. They're comfortable. You can get one with leather and all that shit. It's like, it's actually really, but the problem is once they get about 70,000 miles on it, you realize, well, oh yeah, I forgot American cars. Yeah, once they hit 100,000 miles, most of the small ones are junk. You can drive a Honda. I had a Toyota Corolla or a Camry. You know, I sold it with well over 200. I bought it with 100,000 miles on it. Put like 125 or 130,000 miles. I had like over 2.25. I used to think to deliver pizzas in it for years. Couldn't kill that fucking thing. It was a great car. Comfortable. It wasn't too big, wasn't too small. Perfect for, you know, driving around the city, deliver pizzas. But yet you get it, go for, you know, long cruise, you know, go on an interstate trip, you know, you're not uncomfortable. You know, it's a car from the solid. I just, you know, it's like, I say, I wouldn't even, after having one of these, I wouldn't even want a BMW. It's like, well, why? It's like, because first off, it's just as nice as a BMW as far as the build quality and the, you know, solid feel of it. Like going down the road, fucking 95 miles an hour, it's got 200,000 miles on that fucking dash, not shake one damn bit. You know, it's like, it's just as steady as could be. As long as the tires on it are good, it's great. You know, no problems. And but you do try that with a GM that's a similar, you know, comparison. Like I say, a mid-size GM with 200,000 miles on it. Well, actually, my Sentra would. They actually updated the midsize, you know, like the Regal, the Grand Prix. They were all much better built by the time you got to the late 90s. And the early 90s ones were fucking junk, late 90s. But they just kind of like, then they just started discontinuing all those vehicles because people wouldn't buy them anymore. And it's like, that's why I say I see the same thing, because they failed to recognize that you have to adapt and change. And that's what they wanted to do, was they didn't want to change. They just wanted to perfect more what they got right. America made great, full-size trucks. They even made some pretty good small trucks, like the Rangers, to me, are almost. I own a couple of those things. Those are really good pickup trucks too. But the thing is, they just kind of, over the years, like, they quit making the small Chevy GMC trigger. They quit making the small Ford Rangers, and then now it's like this Toyota's got this new one coming out that's like a utilitarian type, small, affordable pickup truck. And everybody's like, yeah, I want one. Yes, finally. It's like, yeah, it's like 16 or 17,000 or something, and it's basically it's kind of the equivalent of something you would have gotten, 25, almost 30 years ago, was slightly updated. And the thing is because they don't want to adapt. They don't realize that what's going to happen is that another organization is going to start off from the ground, engineering it to work with the neuroaffirming thing, and they're going to work with lobbying with politicians to make sure they can change some of the laws for this to work the way that it does. And y'all are just going to be I mean, look, they've already brought in Benchmark. They realize that giving y'all a monopoly in this county was a bad idea, because with no competition, you wind up making shit product like GM. GM didn't really have competition in trucks, like full-size trucks and vans. They didn't start like Toyota and Nissan didn't start making trucks that compete with like a Silverado 1500 or Ford F-150 until like the 2000s. And then over time they had to kind of improve them. It's kind of interesting to see a Nissan or Toyota pickup truck sitting right next to a Chevy Silverado Z71. That's the same size, the same height, same width, same length. They both have a very powerful V8 engines in them. It's kind of like they basically took their 4Runner thing but made it on a scale like a full-size American V8 truck. And so it's kind of like, because they never wanted to adapt. And that's what I say. I'm saying it's kind of like and that's okay. They're just afraid to change. And if you stop living, then it's time to die. That's the thing. If you stop living, then and that's what I see. They don't want to adapt. They don't want to this. They don't want to that. Whether it's due to cognitive dissonance issues they have, pride, narcissism, or if it's just that they literally have created this horrible cycle that they don't know how to get out of. I just don't know why our shit has to suffer because of it. That's what bothers me. There might be a lot of logical explanations for it. It's still the fact that some incompetent people have fucked up for years, and now they realize, oh, we were wrong. But we've engineered our system to work in a wrong way, and because right now is a bad time. Because the thing is, I know that's why y'all don't want to do nothing, because you don't want to push for any kind of change. You don't even want the administration even realizing that y'all might have an issue. That's like it's like, does he see us? I hope he doesn't. Does he see us? You're like, I mean, there is a certain limit to where it's like they've took a lot of people off of food stamps. They've took away a lot of people's health care. But what's weird is that my health care actually got better. I used to have to make copay for for meds, and now I don't anymore. And I think it's kind of like I say, it's like that's one of the good things is that like I was actually I was going through on Gemini about that when I saw some things saying that and within a couple of years, SSA would be cutting, benefits by like a quarter or something. I was like, will this apply to people with SSDI? It's like I get paid on third. Mine was retroactively considered before 97 because I was born with this disability. It was unrecognized. And the actor said, no, your mine is financially solvent all the way to 2099. So it's kind of like, that's why I'm glad at least they take care of the people who are the most, in need. Truly, they've been scientifically determined to be in need. But yeah, I think that, they need to, so I should get off the pot. There's only so much longer that they're going to be able to do this, but I think that part of it is, because they're like $1.5 million in debt. But like I said, I just feel like I really am just kind of aiding and abetting in them misleading the government to get paid. And I'm sure, none of the politicians really give. That's your opinion. It's like, yeah, but my opinion is correct. Yours isn't. I tell you that. And be like, you're not a doctor. It's like, no, I'm not. I'm better than that. I'm not arrogant like that. I'm arrogant a whole other way. So, I just think it's messed up. No, actually, I think y'all gonna get what y'all deserve. Yeah, the alders are on the phone with you motherfuckers. Hey, if somebody runs into Rick Strom, can you ask her to say hi to my mama for me? Rick Strom, RICKSTROM. I'm trying to fix Gemini's, summary thing because it keeps saying the wrong thing. TYT Sports. If y'all run into him, can y'all ask him to say hi to my mama for me because he's the only person that can. Yeah. Y'all be good. Take care. Love y'all. Bye.
Folks, I'd like to sing a song about the American dream. About me. About you. About the way our American hearts beat way down in the bottom of our chests. About that special feeling we get in the cockles of our hearts. Maybe below the cockles. Maybe in the subcockle area. Maybe in the liver. Maybe in the kidneys. Maybe even in the colon. We don't know. I'm just a regular Joe with a regular job. I'm your average white suburbanite slob. I like football and porno and books about war. I got an average house with a nice hardwood floor. My wife and my job, my kids and my car, my feet on my table, and a Cuban cigar. But sometimes that just ain't enough to keep a man like me interested. Oh no, no way. No, I've gotta go out and have fun at someone else's expense. Oh yeah. Yeah. I drive really slow in the ultra fast lane while people behind me are going insane. I'm an asshole, I'm an asshole, I use public toilets and I piss on the seat. I walk around in the summertime saying, how about this heat? I'm an asshole, I'm an asshole, sometimes I park in handicapped spaces while handicapped people make handicapped faces. I'm an asshole, I'm an asshole, maybe I shouldn't be singing this song, ranting and raving and carrying
67 Cadillac Eldorado convertible. Hot pink with whale skin hubcaps, an all-leather cow interior, and big brown baby seal eyes for headlights. Yeah! And I'm gonna drive around in that baby at 115 miles per hour, getting 1 mile per gallon, sucking down quarter-pounder cheeseburgers from McDonald's in the old-fashioned, non-biodegradable styrofoam containers. And when I'm done sucking down those greaseball burgers, I'm gonna wipe my mouth with the American flag, and then I'm gonna toss the styrofoam containers right out the side, and there ain't a goddamn thing anybody can do about it. You know why? Because we got the bombs, that's why. 2 words, nuclear fucking weapons, okay? Russia, Germany, Romania, they can have all the democracy they want. They can have a big democracy cakewalk right through the middle of Tiananmen Square, and it won't make a lick of difference because we got the bombs, okay? John Wayne's not dead, he's frozen, and as soon as we find a cure for cancer, we're gonna thaw out the Duke, and he's gonna be pretty pissed off. You know why? Have you ever taken a cold shower? We'll multiply that by 15 million times. That's how pissed off the Duke's gonna be. I'm gonna get the Duke and John Cassavetes and Lee Marvin and Sam Peckinpah and a case of whiskey and drive down to Texas.
You know, you really are an asshole.
Why don't you just shut up and sing this song, pal? I'm an asshole, yo, 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 yo. I'm an asshole. A-S-S-H-O-L-E. Everybody, A-S-S-H-O-L-E. I'm an asshole, and I'm proud of it.
I just wanna tell you all, go fuck yourself. Oh, shit. Go fuck yourself.
I do not freebase cocaine.